Hello students, welcome to the part 2 of HSAB. So now we shall be discussing the applications of hard and soft acid base theory. But those who are seeing this particular video first time, I would advise you to first go to the part 1 of this particular theory. Then only the understanding of this particular topic would be better. So the applications of this theory are tabulated as below. So the thumb rule here had been, first let me explain, the thumb rule of HSAB had been that hard acid would always want to interact with or prefer to make a bond with or interact with hard base, and soft acid would always want to make a bond with soft base. This is what we have done in the previous part. Now, what had been the applications? So the applications are quite interesting in many ways. So first application, the occurrence of metal in nature. So here we are mixing the topic with metallurgy. Now, as a matter of fact, I don't know how many of you ever thought it this way, that most of your ores of calcium, magnesium, aluminium happens to remain with carbonate and oxides, simply because of the fact these all are falling under the category of hard acid, and these two are hard bases. So as we said, wherever the donor atom is oxygen or fluorine or nitrogen, generally these are hard bases, and this is a soft base. So that is the reason why most of these alkaline earth metals or aluminium 3 positive happens to exist in form of carbonate or oxides, and we hardly would see these as to be occurring in nature as sulfides. If they occur in very lesser quantity. So this is a general way of explaining the thing. Similarly, if I talk of these transition metal which are having a low oxidation state or would have low charge density, these are said to be soft acids. So for, if I'm writing this as to be hard and the other one as to be soft, that viewpoint would be clear once you go for the part 1 which we have already done. And these are what you call it as soft acids, or sorry, soft bases. Sorry, very sorry, these are said as hard bases, and this is called as soft base. So that is the reason we happen to see cuprous sulfide, HGS, and A to this. These are the ores which we are frequently seeing, rather than the oxides of mercury or silver. Copper oxide is somewhat available because it is copper 2 positive, can be said as in the category of borderline. So you may say, now these are the species which happens to fall in the borderline cases. We have already defined in the last session of this part 1 borderline cases. These borderline cases may exist in both carbonate also and sulfide also. So the here the matter of the fact is that here I am saying the things in a general way. Generally, the hard acid tend to exist as carbonates and oxides rather than sulfides, and similarly soft acids tend to exist as sulfides, not as carbonate and oxides, simply because of the fact that soft acid would like to get attached with soft base and vice versa. Going on to the second one, the prediction of equilibrium. This also is a very important viewpoint here to explain it here. Now, where does this equilibrium would move? This could be a good IIT type of a question. So here I am saying this is a hard acid, this is a soft base. I negative is a soft base, whereas cesium is a soft acid, whereas fluoride is a hard base. So obviously, now if we say this reaction has happened, we may write it here. This is what? This is hard acid, this is hard base, and this is soft acid, and this is soft base. So it has been seen that this equilibrium is forward driven. So the K equilibrium would be greater than 1. So this would be forward driven. Why? Because hard acid would like to attach with hard base, and soft acid would like to attach with soft base. Going forward, if I see the next one on the same pedagogy, you can say that this equilibrium would again be forward driven. Why? Because this is a soft acid and this is a hard base. And here this is a hard acid and this is a soft base. So the driving force for this is this always would want to make hard interaction, and this would want to make soft interaction. This is principally the thumb rule for this particular HSAB. Moving on to the third, solubility. This also is a very important one. Solubility can also be addressed with this viewpoint. This is a soft, this sulfide is also a soft, which we have already done. Soft acid, soft base. And this is soft acid, but this is hard base. Now here what we are going to say, if I talk of stability, stability of HGS is greater than that of HgOH twice. So if it is more stable, so the solubility of this species in water would be less because it is less soluble, more stable. So it want to remain interacted with each other rather than to go and get dissolved into the water. And what type of water? Acidic water. So this is the viewpoint that if the species would have hard or soft, that interaction would be stronger and that would be more stabler. Now make it a point, this is always done on comparison basis. As such, if you come across a question that this is water soluble or this is more soluble or less soluble, you cannot answer it till the time you are not going to compare that particular species with the other one where one of the thing is common. Then only you can answer it that in regard to the solubility. Similarly, the stability, again the simple one. So this is a soft acid and this is a soft base. I negative is a soft base, Ag positive is a soft acid, and this is soft acid but this is hard base. So obviously this would be stable. And similarly, if I go further, cobalt 3 positive is a hard acid, this is a hard acid, this is a soft, this is also a hard base, F negative, and this is a hard acid but this is a soft base. So obviously this would be stable, this would be more stable. So the stability of complex, this particular dimension of this particular topic is quite a good one to analyze this particular topic in terms of the stability. Now, this also is a very important. Fifth point is also very important, where we shall be saying the stability of ligand with stability of, rather I would say here, stability of complex with different ligands. It has been seen that if all the ligands attaching to the central atom are of same nature, then the strength is high. So all ligands are of same nature, either all are soft or all are hard, then this is then that particular complex is more stable. More stable, make it a point. This is very important qualitative way of analyzing the thing. Otherwise you have to find out the equilibrium constant. This is a not a quantitative, but as I'm saying time and again, it is a qualitative way to address few things. So here this ammonia is a hard base, F negative is also a hard base, and this is a hard base but this is a soft base. So this would be more stable. Similarly, if I talk of Cn negative, Cn negative is a soft base and I negative is also a soft base, but Cn negative soft base, this is hard base. So it has been seen soft would be more stable than soft hard, and hard would be more stable than hard soft. This is what the viewpoint is. Similarly, now this again is a very important viewpoint, the concept of symbiosis. Now, if I talk of here, if I consider the oxidation state of boron, so if I attach this boron with 3 fluorine, which is electron withdrawing group, and here you attach with hydrogen, which is not so electronegative as the case of fluorine. So what we are saying is that fluorine is going to increase the hardness of boron, whereas hydrogen, because if I talk of H negative, H negative is a soft base compared to the F negative. F negative is a hard base. So what we are saying is that when to a given species a hard base is attached, it would make this boron hard. Whereas H negative, these H negative got attached with the boron B3 positive. Here also if I consider it as B3 positive, H negative is a soft base, so it would make it soft. This is very, very important. This is what you call it as a process of, or the concept of symbiosis, where a given species when get attached with a central atom, if that given species is hard, would make the central atom hard. If the given species attached to the central atom is soft, it would make the central atom soft. So here the question is very interesting, that if you are being given that BF3 has got the opportunity to get attached by F negative and H negative, so it predominantly get attached with F negative because this is a hard base and this is a soft base. So what we are saying is that fluorine attached with the boron made it hard. That is why it is interacting with F negative faster or making a bond stronger compared to that with H negative. Vice versa, if I talk of this one, here the H negative is going to attack it because this is soft base and this is a hard base. So this is very interesting question, that here the formation of BF4 negative is more favorable. This is what the viewpoint is. This may be asked in the MCQ form, and here BH4 negative is more favorable. They may ask you which one is more favorable if you have been given provided with BH3 given with F negative or H negative. So this is an important question. Now this may be justified further in this way. This again is a very, very interesting viewpoint which would endorse the viewpoint. Now, if I say that this has been given to you, now here I would say this part of the species is hard, this is hard acid, and this is soft base. And if I talk of this one, this is a soft acid and this is a hard base. So what would be the viewpoint? When you mix them together, what would happen? This will change into BF4 negative, and this is, so this is a beautiful way to justify the above statement that now both are hard, this also is hard, and this is soft. So this is very, very interesting viewpoint. So I think this statement which we have done earlier is now quite well endorsed. Here also, if you consider this one, this again would have same sort. This is what you call it as a process of symbiosis, that this way this concept would address the things much better. This is hard base and this is a soft acid, and this is because fluorine got attached, this has become hard. So this hard acid and this can be said as soft base. Now if you mix them together, this becomes CF4 and this becomes CH4. This is again a very, very interesting viewpoint. Similarly, if I proceed further, now these may be asked in the paper. So this is a soft acid and this is a hard base, which we have already discussed somewhere in the last session also. So this is soft, this is hard acid, this is soft base. So when you mix them together, this would change into HgI2 and this would be BeF2. So what is the driving force here is this is soft and this also is soft, and this is hard and this is hard. So this is very, very interesting. This is becoming really interesting. Now, prediction of the stable bonding with a ambient nucleophile. If a ligand has the capability of joining it something, say for example, if I have this species, this may be written as like this one also. So from which side it should donate? Would it donate from the nitrogen or sulfur, because it's an ambient type of a ligand which can join with both ways. So if you are being given a metal ion, with which will it be joining it with sulfur or nitrogen? Now this is very interesting. Now if you are being given the two cations, now see here, if cobalt is being given, so cobalt is a, I may say here, now what to, how to infer it out. So if the donation is from the sulfur side, we will say it as soft base, and where the donation is from nitrogen side, we shall be saying it as to be hard base. So hard base would always join or would like to join with hard cation. So this is a hard acid and this is a soft acid. So obviously this thiocyanate would try to attach this one with sulfur, and here it is going to try, or it is going to get attached with nitrogen. So the matter of the fact is, the stability, this would make it this way and this would make it this way. This also is very interesting, and this can be asked in the MCQ form. And now this again is very interesting viewpoint. The site of bonding. Now if you are being given BF3 along with BH3, so we have already proved it that BF3 is a strong or hard acid, and this is a soft acid, because the boron is same, but the species, the fluorine and hydrogen which are got attached with the central atom, they tend to change the hardness and softness of the central atom. So BF3 would always like to join with, now these are the two sites, so this is a site of, I may say this as hard base and this is soft base. So obviously this would like to, this would prefer to get joined with this site, these are going to get joined with from this site, and this would like to join it to BH3. Now this can be asked in the MCQ form in some way, that if this complex is being given and you are being given BF3 and BH3, BH3 joins where? Will it be going to join with the nitrogen's lone pair or phosphorus lone pair, which is more favorable? So this is again a beautiful. Now coming on to the limitations of hard and soft acid base theory, here is to be remembered that stability of hard and soft interaction is to be distinguished from the acidity or basicity. What does it mean? That if I talk of, say for example, you have some hard base which is reacting with a species which would have some hard, or rather I would say soft acid, soft base, something like that. So this hard base, can it be able to displace this or not? This is what I'm saying, that if it is able to displace it, we shall be saying it soft acid combined with hard base and thrown out a soft base. So will this be happening or not? This can't be judged categorically. So what I'm saying is that if you are being given a species or a equilibrium where this particular entity, both cation and anion, hard or soft, and here also both cation and anion are given, then you can answer it perfectly, otherwise it would not be a right way to explain. What I'm saying is that any given base from a given compound can displace a hard acid or a hard base, that we cannot judge from this particular theory. What I'm trying to say is that if I say, let me say it like this, if a soft base, this is a soft base which is being treated with HF, HF is hard and this also is hard. So SO3F, SO3 2 negative is able to displace F negative, although it is a hard base. This interaction is stronger, but still it has done, and the equilibrium for this is 10 raised to power 4. So what basically we are saying is that although SO3 2 negative is softer, but it is stronger to displace a harder base which is weaker as a base. Basicity of F negative is lesser than that of SO3 2 negative. So what the problem is, what I am saying is, when this species is being given and it is being reacted with a given anion, then the way of explaining this, whether the equilibrium would shift toward the forward direction or not, would not be endorsed by HSAB. There are some limitation in that regard. Let me place it, what I am trying to explain it this way, that if you have a hard base and the species is containing soft acid, soft base. Now what has happened is a hard base, a soft base is being displaced by hard base. So simply the viewpoint here, the equilibrium constant is 10. That means the equilibrium is forward driven. So that means although OH negative is a stronger and harder base, it has displaced the weaker and softer base. The matter of the fact is that the basicity is not to be judged from the fact that basicity is a bit different from the stability of these interactions. So what I'm saying is that if the question has been given this way, that this species, both the species are being mentioned, then it is perfectly endorsable. There is no issue in it. So now say this is what? This is soft acid. This is what? um, Hard base. Now what is this H? This is hard acid and this is soft base. Now this would be definitely forward driven, because now this again is soft acid, this is soft base, and this is hard acid and this is hard base. I think I made my point clear what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say if hard and soft, soft and hard are given, both the hard and soft, soft and hard are given, then you can judge it rightly. But if one of the base is given and it is being treated with acid, hard acid or soft base, then the equilibrium would be forward driven or not, that would be endorsed from the experimental fact. Again, in the next reaction, if you talk of, this is what you call it as soft acid and this is hard base. So here this H is what? Hard acid, this is soft base. Now what you happen to get here is this both are soft acid, this is soft base, here I should write soft base, and this is hard acid and OH negative is a hard base. So the matter of the fact is that if you are being given one of the species is perfectly given like this one, that hard acid and hard base is given, or rather I would say acid and base is being given, and then it is to be treated with a base, and you are interfering or judging it whether the reaction would go forward or not from the HSAB, then you would struggle. If uh, acid and base are both are given, then it is perfectly answerable. So if acid 1 base 1 is treated with acid 2 base 2, and it goes like this: acid 1 base 2 and acid 2 base 1, this is this way driven or this way driven, can be endorsed from the hardness and softness. Thanks a lot, have a nice day. This is the last limitation. So I hope you have understood all the applications and the limitation. Hope to see you once again with one more discussion on to the reactions of the organic nature. In this particular part of application, I tried to cover all the inorganic reactions which can be endorsed with the fact of HSAB. All of these examples are carrying the inorganic compounds or inorganic reactions. In the upcoming session, I shall be explaining it for some organic reactions also. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day. Stay safe and take good care of yourself.